Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to T-Box Talk, episode 47. The boys are back from the Connecticut Golf Show. Got a good episode for you today. Gonna recap the show. Golf season is upon us. Masters right around the corner. UConn dominating the NCAA tournament. We'll get into some what are we watching, and then close out with a free-form segment. All right, let's get into it. Will, Josh, both here. Guys, how we doing? How'd the show go?
Me? All right, me first. All right.
Will missed out on the first show because of pre-existing travel. Your first golf show, Expo. How'd you think?
Great. I mean, you guys know I'm from, Central Connecticut, so I used to go to that golf show all the time as a kid. So it was full circle, to say the least, being there as a vendor exhibitor. So that was really cool one in itself. But the show was great. It was my first time really, I'm not a strong public speaker, I'd say, or salesman. So it's my first opportunity to really give that a shot. And I think after sweating and shaking through the first couple pitches, I finally nailed it down around noon on Friday and went into Saturday with feeling really strong and confident. So all in all, I actually had a lot of fun, and I definitely had some FOMO missing out on Sunday with you guys. But met a lot of people, sold a lot of great product, and I was really happy to be in attendance.
Don't worry, you didn't miss anything on Sunday.
Oh my God.
Sunday was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, and I actually, for my little freeform segment, I will save something that happened on Sunday for later, but...
He's going to fucking roast me, I know.
Yeah, I know. You know I am. But yeah, Sunday was dead. I thought you did great, though, Will. I mean, I thought you spoke with confidence. I mean, yeah, the first few, when you're talking to somebody, is definitely a little shaky. But then once you get into the groove, it's fun.
Well, I think the thing that's so challenging, and the reason I think it's so you get kind of nervous, is because it's not a direct sales pitch. You're not like at Walmart who, or like some retailer that all they care about is the product you're selling and the benefits and whatnot. You have to pull people off the aisle, and you can't just run up to people and be like, hey, come see our product. Like, you have to kind of weasel your way in, oh, hey, is the show good? Like, did you guys come here for clubs? What are you looking for? And then that kind of tempers them into being curious about your brand.
My little secret technique was if I saw somebody look at one of the products for more than a second and a half, I'd be like, hey.
Yeah, you want to check that out?
Yeah. Like, you can just tell, when someone's
interested. Yeah. I think, and it was funny. I mean, I think all the sales that I did make, I really was based off a connection that I made with someone. And my first sale, for example, was a guy that was from Connecticut, but he had a beach house on the same road that we had a beach house down in South Kingston growing up, Green Hill Beach Road. So that alone, I think, was played big into me connecting and actually making a complete sale.
Yeah, that's massive.
That kind of reminds me of the first show we did in Massachusetts. Me and Josh just hammered home the fact, hey, we're based in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Oh, my God, no way. That's 50 minutes away. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there was also those people that we knew. There was a good chunk of people that came by that, one group, Andrew and I met up with some older, we played in a little league with them a long while ago, but they're from Cumberland, and they bought 2 rangefinders, you know? Granted, they got, a hefty discount. But.
From the show, there was an old bastard there. And he became mortal enemy number 1 of the Omada golf booth. And I don't even know what he was there selling. I think cigars or something.
He's not my mortal enemy.
Well, there's that mortal enemy from the first show.
To Andrew's point, we did accrue 2 mortal enemies now in the golf space.
Yeah, this old guy at this show was just being an asshole. I actually came back to a full-fledged argument between you guys and this guy.
It wasn't even you guys. Will was calm, cool, just hanging out. It was me. That motherfucker came by the booth and was interrupting me every time, just making accusations about Will and I's interest in him because he was hiding his fucking past behind him.
He accused Josh of only talking to him because he was an exhibitor. And it's we're not here to pitch you on anything. We're here to pitch the attendees on our company and our product. It just literally the whole what he said made 0 sense.
No, what he was saying was that if he didn't have the exhibitor pass on, if he didn't, because it was hidden, he put it behind him for some reason, that I wouldn't have spoken to him.
Yeah,
and my argument, you're the reverse. But my argument was, dude, we're talking to everybody about our brand. That's what we're here for. We're networking this. And every time I would try to speak, he would fucking interrupt me. over and over again, like 10 times straight, until I was just like, you know what? Keep moving.
Yeah, and then he brought his attitude down to like a 4th grade level, and it was like, oh, you a little upset? Like, did you get up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? It's like, dude, you're like pushing
What
80.
a loser.
It's like, what fucking beef do you like? Are you just out here to like start arguments? Like, I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the other mortal enemy who just is telling us that our products aren't going to sell, and
Well, this
we
guy
don't know
from
anything.
I mean, you got to give that some context. He's a fucking competitor.
Yeah, he
I mean,
is.
he walks over to us and he's talking shit to me. And I mean, look, don't ever tell a salesman who's driven like I am with a team like this that we're not going to sell something. All right, because you know what you end up doing? You end up giving me every fucking reason in the world to prove you wrong. It's like Tom Brady. You don't go up to Tom Brady and say, oh, you're going to lose the Super Bowl. Because every fucking day from there on out and for the rest of that year, he's going to fucking grind for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to light a fire under his ass.
Exactly.
You're just putting more fuel in the gas tank.
Exactly. So I look back at that and I'm like, what I realized, here's what I'll put a summary on the shows for. The customers, I would say, for anybody that even gave us the time of day to stop by, wow, fucking amazing. I mean, I had more invigoration in me about golf in the industry and the products and the brand that we're coming out with. Plus, like the sales that we did were insane for us. One of our biggest months in a while, I think, will be this month, and we'll do well. Now, that being said, that is an old man's industry.
Oh yeah.
Like the golfing space up front like that, that's not e-commerce, you know what I mean? It's an old man's industry, and it's kind of petty. Like there's a lot of fucking like drama that goes on between golf companies and whatnot. And we even had, Andrew, you want to touch on that? We had fucking multiple competitors coming through our booth, trying to get the pitches, trying to see the products, hold the products, and that's just the way it is. Like there's those types of shows, a consumer trade show is very dramatic.
Yeah, and I also noticed, and there was definitely a difference at this crowd. I don't know if it's the Connecticut, New York area, but
I think you just answered the question right there.
Some people were really mean. Like, I'd be like, hey, can I show you a demo of the push cart? I'd be like, no, I already have one. Like, don't even waste your time. But, like, a simple, like, I'm all set would be great. But just, like, shooting me down, then telling me they have a better one, and then telling me how much they love their, bag boy or click gear.
Dude.
It's like, all right, a simple I'm all set would have been okay.
I got a guy.
Then I get fucking berated.
I get a crew of boomers. Actually, they were triple boomers. They weren't even double boomers. They were the fucking they were maxed out. And they came over there to me, and they had me walk through the rangefinder, and they didn't have me do it for any other reason than to fucking try to basically promote Bushnell to me. Like they're trying to sell me on Bushnell, and I'm like, you fucking idiots. Like they come from the same factory. Like we built this thing to be totally different. It has different features. It looks different. It feels different. It's got different, the cases and all that, and the magnet latch and everything. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like scram.
I think there's just a lot of brand allegiance in golf. And I think when people make a big purchase, like a rangefinder from Bushnell for $500, when they see another one that is comparable, if not better, for a lower price, they have to go over and make sure they shoot it down and make sure that they know that they didn't make the wrong
because
choice.
they
in their
got
head.
scammed.
Yeah.
Like Bushnell, look, maybe back in the day when there was no competition, look, totally get it. The technology just straight up didn't exist. They were part of bringing that to the game of golf, but it's a fucking scam. Spending $500 on a rangefinder that doesn't even have slope, which I literally took a picture of one that's at like $450.
Or a rechargeable battery.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. It's a total scam, and they just brand powers everything.
Right.
So
I think I had one occasion where I had two keyboard warriors like breeze by the booth and like saw the push carts, and they're like, just carry the bag, and like. I just thought in my head, I was like, these are the guys that are hiding behind the comments on like our Facebook ads and shit. Like you couldn't even stop to have a conversation with me. You like did a drive-by insult.
Yeah. And the best part is we thought of that. Like if you want to walk, there's a fucking Sunday bag right behind us. And even more than that, there's a hydro light. So if you want a little bit bigger of a bag, but a super light fucking dirt, all that shit. And we're coming out with another one. A 14-way slot, baby.
Yeah, I can't
Highly
believe
requested.
how many people came and saw our golf bags and were like, I wish you did the 14 slot. I wish you did the 14 slot. And I was like, fuck, maybe we should have done the 14 slot.
Well, I think it's tough. Like golf bags, I would say that category of golf bags, like a lot of the people there at that event, they already have a golf bag. You know, like to me, like I think that's an accessory that like those are older guys. The people you need to get in with the golf bag are the younger crew.
Yeah. And this brings me to my next point. Great segue. Giving free hats to kids is a great freaking feeling. Like
Best feeling
we
in the
did it
world.
a few times at the show and just watching them get fucking pumped as they walk away, showing it to the rest of their family. Like, oh my God, look at this, look at this. Like,
I also think that was important too, because Saturday I think was Kids Day.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's why there were more kids.
That's why there was a lot of kids there versus, Friday.
Oh,
Obviously,
cool.
like
I feel like
parents are
Sunday
working
there
and
was a
stuff,
good.
but-
Oh no, never mind. That wasn't Sunday, was it?
They all blend together. It was a long weekend.
Well, here's what I'll tell you is that I woke up Sunday and I almost puked when I walked onto that floor.
Yeah,
like I was getting to the point where I was having a panic attack out there on the floor. Like
me and
I just
Josh hit a brick wall.
we hit a brick wall
on Sunday.
like, Sunday and dude, it was a nightmare. Like getting out of there and like even like the drama with some of the other retailers or some of the other vendors and shit. Like I just couldn't take it anymore.
We did meet some really nice vendors though.
Oh yeah, we won big time. We won
Those guys
huge.
next to us, the fairway shop guys, Tunks's Country Club, shout out y'all. I mean, we did make some really great, connections.
Chris Cody.
Yeah.
You actually, I felt bad you didn't get to meet him, but like there was.
I've met him in passing before
Oh, you
because I
did?
worked for Mike's Golf Outlet in Hartford. Yeah. And they were like direct competitors at the time because Chris Cody wasn't as big as he is now.
Yeah.
And Mike's also was just strictly like an eBay reseller. So they were like different but the same, but they were still somewhat direct competitors. So like we knew of each other back in like 2014, 2015.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Man, that's pretty cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Altogether, I think it was an incredible experience. I want to thank the two of you guys. I want to thank the people that came out and supported us. And I'll tell you that there is no better feeling than to see people sending us pictures after the show with their new rangefinder, with their new mag latch case, with their new golf bag, with their hats, whatever, and being excited about Omada because it being the Greek word for team to me is the only brand in golf that's really pushing for playing together. Who cares about fucking being better than the next guy? Let's be different and let's enjoy our time. And that was something we really hit on at those shows and got a lot of good customers in on that mentality. So
yeah. Speaking of the guys who sent us the picture of them out on the course the next day, shout out Gavin and his brother. You guys are rock stars. Thanks for swinging
that's
by.
facts.
Yeah. It's really cool to see people are out there using it already. It is that time of the year though.
Yeah.
It was truly awesome. Like when I got home Sunday and like reflected on the last 2 weekends, like it was fucking sick.
And you know what?
And as tired as I was and miserable, like fucking sat in traffic on the Mass Pike for like a half hour because someone had gotten in an accident. I was like, Jesus fuck! Like I just want to go home so bad right now.
You had the pee break
But then when
dilemma
I
too.
actually got home, relaxed, started gaming, and was just looking through Shopify at all the orders.
I was like 2
thinking about-
days in the hole. Like I like didn't feel good at all for 2 days.
Oh yeah, we took Monday off. It was beautiful. I just fucking glued my eyes to my gaming monitor.
But you know one thing that's cool? This will be the last thing I have to say about the whole thing was look, it hasn't been a perfect experience. Omada's been challenging and we went through a lot of challenges too. Like it wasn't necessarily the golf industry or selling. It was like just the way that the distribution was and the supply chain. It's been very difficult over the past couple of years. But one thing that I find is very cool now is with all the new products and all the new customers and all the new people that work with us. See, I was looking at it yesterday with Andrew. It's like there are hundreds of people, maybe thousands at this point, that are contributing on a weekly, monthly basis to the success of Omada. And us three, are the ones who are right now at the front of the war. Mm-hmm. We are like on the front lines. And the reality is that we have support from our customers, from our manufacturers, from our extended team members out in the UK, out in Arizona, out in Indianapolis. Well, there's people all over the country.
Down one floor.
Down one floor. There are people all over the country, probably, and in this case, the world, that are here working together to create a brand that is centered around team. And that ecosystem is one of the most beautiful things you could ever create and be a part of. And we have the ability and the privilege to be at the front of that. And that's pretty cool to stand back and recognize and be like, wow, there's, there's 10,000 customers, 100, 20,000 customers out there that we have touched their lives and they have touched ours, and altogether our manufacturing, supply chain, and distribution, accounting. What an amazing experience as a whole, and I just thank you and absolute highest level of appreciation for everybody and everyone that has contributed.
Facts.
Yes,
and while we're on, before we move forward, while we're on this this trend of appreciation, I could not withhold a notable mention to Dave Davis. My father.
I literally have a note I was about to say.
Yeah, so he was, not only was he out on the floor, burning and turning, running and gunning, he actually sold a few products. He got a few people over to our booth, and in addition to that, he hooked the team up with some sandos and some snacks and drinks on Saturday. Because the food at the expo, I'll just say, was less than par.
It sucked. It fucking sucked. That's not what it was. I had about 10 soft pretzels. That was about it.
Just like the only thing Colucci could stomach
Just
there.
straight carb load the whole show.
Dude, I ate a sandwich there, and I was hungry the second I finished it because it wasn't even real food.
And then it was just like not settling well for the next 24 hours.
No, I felt like shit. And I'll tell you that Dave sandwich, when he brought those sandwiches in, I've never, even the Triumph, like he had to go through like 16 layers of security. And
Dave, he had his like the one thing that got him inside the show was that he claimed that we had special dietary restrictions, including colitis and IBS, and they let him right in.
Yeah. I mean, those are the kinds of things that like you just like. I noticed that nobody else had. Not one other person at the show, between my parents coming at the previous show and my Uncle Mike coming and friends of ours coming, I didn't see anybody else there at that show have that kind of support. And to me, that was just indicative of who we are and where we come from and what we're all about,
Right.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Dave, and anybody else that has contributed to it all.
Yes, and that's the stuff I was like reflecting on, as I mentioned earlier. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll move on though from the golf show. Golf season is upon us. So I want just one quick thing. What do you guys want to work on the most this year in golf? If you had to choose one thing to improve on this year, what do you think you want it to be?
I want to improve my backswing. I got a very short John Rahmish backswing.
Yes, you do.
I think this more or less alludes to the fact that I need to stretch more and maybe
stretching.
And maybe like practice outside of just like, walking up to the first tee and just going. But I'd really like to work on like lengthening my swing because I got a lot of power, and I'd like to see how much distance I can add with, a small swing change.
I don't even think it's just going to be distance. I think you're also going to gain a lot more. If you figured that out, you also, I think, are going to get you'll give yourself more time in your backswing to try to shape the ball. Like learning, because I think that's like one of the big things I've noticed about your swing and your strategy. You play to a little bit of the Alex Cambio strategy where like if you're like slightly fading it, you're always playing to a fade or something like that.
Right. Whereas
I think, and actually to that note, this is for anybody listening as well. This is a really fucking cool thing. When I was at the show, I actually linked up. I was just looking at his cards. He reminded me. He works for Golf Tech. And Golf Tech, he doesn't work for it. It's his franchise in Connecticut. So all of Connecticut, this is the guy that does it. But Golf Tech they just bought SkyTrack, if you're not familiar. And I'll just say this, there's nothing, I can't say anything about it, but there is some new tech on the way. And in addition to that, they had some tech there and you can actually go to this facility and there's golf techs all around the country. And what they do is they basically have they have 2 iPhones set up or a video camera or something that hooks up to their software. And when you swing, it's giving you like thousands of data points on your whole entire body. And it's comparing your swing movement to like basically the cumulative data over hundreds or thousands of PGA Tour players. So you like if like for instance with mine where some of my upswing like where I finish at the top is like similar to a PGA Pro, but my sway in my legs is all off. Like my hips are not rotating fast enough, and they're giving you that data live after you take a shot. It's fucking, you got to check it out eventually.
That is very cool.
I could see us doing a trip up to Golf Tech, or even there's one I think local to Rhode Island, and we just learn about our swings.
I don't even want to know what mine would look like.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to see that one.
What's one thing you want to work on this season in golf?
Getting out more.
No, I'm just talking about like one part of your game that you want to.
So like actually something about my fucking game?
Yeah.
I think I know what you're gonna say here.
I mean, if I don't say putting, I'd be a fucking asshole, dude.
Yeah.
I have the very good ability of missing a 2-foot putt constantly, like consistently.
That's a good ability. Yeah, I gotta just work on everything. There's no
Gucci, we need to contact Elon Musk to get one of those brain chips to like just download a golf swing into your brain. That's what I think
that'd be ideal.
I also think consistency would help you too, just like going out and playing more golf.
It's probably true.
Yeah.
Maybe hit a range once or twice. I should do that.
There was glimpses of hope last year.
And then
but to his point, like if we work on we train in the sim and we figure out what's going on, you have to go to the course and then put that to work. You can't just like stop. You can't just like stop.
Just like I can do it, and then just be like, oh, that's good enough. Don't actually have to do it.
And you can't revert. You got to commit. One thing about swings I've learned is that if you go half in and you like try to fix a couple things, but then it corrupts what you were doing more consistently, you either go all in on the new swing or you fucking play the old swing. You got to make a choice.
Yes. So golf season is upon us. I'm very excited. So stay tuned on Omada Golf's Instagram and T-Box Talks Instagram for clips from us playing this summer. We should probably be doing some awesome, fun things, giveaways, competitions. So just stay tuned. Get involved if you're local. Just reach out. The NCAA tournament, going back to UConn, talk about Connecticut. UConn looks like a fucking powerhouse right now. And Will and his family, big UConn fans. I think they're going to win the whole damn thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic, too, because, well, I'll say one thing. I got to give all the credit to my dad here because his interest in NCAA basketball and UConn in particular has officially trickled down to me, and it's now an exciting part of my life. I was never a basketball player. I was never someone who watched basketball, but I'm like itching for the next game. So it's fun to see that it's nice to see internally that I've got a new hobby. And outside of that, I just lost my place.
College basketball is fun as shit.
No, it had to do with UConn, and I'm completely spacing on this, so I'm going to kick it over to you, and maybe I'll remember it in a minute.
I mean, me and Josh were watching that UConn-Gonzaga game from the hotel room, and it was
boys to men.
It was unbelievable.
You know what is a little sad about that, though, is like they are dominant. I mean, they're going to win. I right now, if you had to tell me that if I had to put a bet on them and make it substantial, like I would genuinely feel confident in betting just UConn.
Now, the thing is, one would argue that they haven't played a close game in the tournament yet. They have been blowing everybody in the tournament out. If they get caught in a close, tight game in the Final Four, what happens?
But you know what they have, Andrew?
I think they'll be okay.
This is the thing. This is what that team has. They are well-rounded.
Yes.
They don't just have good shoot. Like, I'll give you an example. We saw two teams that were very good teams, like
Kansas State, with that small guy.
Yeah, the short guy, and he's trying to put the team on his back, but he doesn't have the physical ability to take on monsters like every time. He needs he needs people to assist him. Mm-hmm. And just like we saw in that final play with the kid bobbling it and he locks it up and they don't even get a shot off.
The one time he passes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't take the final shot and the kid fucking fumbles the bag.
Exactly. And then in addition to that, like UConn, they had the shooting. They were lights out shooters.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then they also have a fucking 7'2" monster.
Yeah.
Who can jump and run like a guard.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that?
And you got Sonogo, who's just an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a very dynamic
Sonogo
squad this
They
year.
do.
And Dan Hurley's a great coach. So, I mean, there's no denying that. What I was going to say is that when we announced the NCAA tournament, the March Madness giveaway for Omada, we had a lot of people that had UConn.
Really?
Yeah.
And initially, I'm like, there's no fucking shot. I mean, I love that, people are so adamant that UConn's going to win, but I don't see that. I don't think that's in the cards. And then now, Colucci and I are looking at the entries yesterday, or I think it was the end of, no, it was this morning. We're looking at the entries, and the only entry that is viable for a giveaway win is UConn right now.
Yeah, the other 3 Final Four teams, nobody picked them.
Wow, really?
Yeah, FAU, San Diego State, and Miami. No one had either of those teams winning.
That's crazy.
So
there's like 5 or 6 UConn entries.
yeah, so if UConn doesn't win,
So I guess more
then
people knew than I
good.
did.
We don't need to give
UConn
away
doesn't
free
win,
product.
we win.
Yeah, we don't need to give away free product.
I think that. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Fuck UConn.
I mean, I think March Madness is like, if this year was tough because we did the fucking 2 shows right in the bulk of it.
Yeah, we missed a lot of it. Yeah,
But I got to tell you something. If I can do like one thing a year that I really look forward to, probably my number one sporting event thing is actually college basketball in the March Madness tournament.
yeah, just fucking sitting there, just like game after game. It just never
Yeah.
ends. You go channel to channel in between commercials.
But they're also
Josh
great
almost threw a.
games.
Oh, me and Josh. Speaking of which, we had the worst TV ever in our hotel room. I swear to God, it was a horrible. We couldn't change the channel pretty much. The remote was so bad. So me and Josh just had to stay on one game and just watch whatever was on that channel. It was fucked. But
They're
yeah.
good games, though. That's the difference. Like, they go all the fuck out. And you see shit like that. Like that game we watched, the Kansas City, that game came down to the final seconds of that game.
Yeah.
And it was a one-possession game. I mean, you live for those moments, and they're just they just are so rapid. Like,
And it's just one after the other.
one after the other. Like, yeah.
And sometimes their 2 games are going at the same time, but they separate them enough so that like one will end, and then the other game that's happening will have like 5 minutes left. So you go crazy ending and then jump to another crazy ending. It's awesome. So yeah, NCAA tournament. Good luck to UConn. Probably the most local team to us. So I'm gonna root for them, even though I'm a Friar fan. What are we watching? Mando season 3. It's just still trucking. I haven't watched today's episode yet. I'm excited to watch that.
No,
I finally saw The Whale. Did you watch The Whale yet?
I don't want to see it.
You shouldn't. I think
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It's really good, but my fucking God.
Don't want to watch it.
Is it
I,
dark? and
I know it's a good
depressing.
movie. I know that. I know he's a great actor. I'm not going to go down that depressing lane. I'm just out.
It's fucking.
I need
It's
shit
so
to keep me
good.
light, dude.
I mean, if you're going to do it for anything, do it for my man, Brandon Fraser.
I feel bad because I've been watching him do tons of like
interviews.
interviews
Yeah.
and background scene stuff now. But I just can't get myself to sit there and cry for fucking 2 hours straight and like feel like
It's fucking brutal.
because I can feel like it's not just crying. You feel a little bit defeated a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't deny that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. On a lighter note, 2 things. Have you guys seen the Chris Tucker? Is it Chris? Well, not Chris Tucker. It's what's his face?
Chris Rock?
Chris Rock. Dude, I haven't seen the full thing. I started to watch and I was like,
His new Netflix special.
but I saw. Did you see what he said?
No.
Dude, he spent like 20 minutes on Will
You
Smith.
lit up Will Smith.
Yeah.
I cannot. Dude, they're
Really?
going to be the next boxing match. I mean,
Yeah.
like
that would be cool.
I mean, Will Smith would probably fucking murder him after this point. Like, Will, I could not believe what he said in that documentary about Will Smith and his family. He tore them apart.
It's actually a really cool special. It's the first ever time a comedian has done a live special on Netflix.
Right.
So he performed live. They streamed it to Netflix, and then they kept it as like something you could rewatch, which is ballsy to do. And he did it, and he pulled it off. Apparently, I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, he definitely
but
pulled
like
it.
Interesting.
my mom watched it, and she's freaking loved it.
I don't think he's that funny personally. Like, he's not really my style comedy, but I can say that just the Will Smith thing alone is going to put him back right up on top.
Yeah.
For me, well, I'm on the last season of Sopranos. I just started season 6 last night.
Season
God
6,
damn.
part A or part B?
Part A. What an absolute banger of an episode to kick off season 6. Very invested in it, and also slightly very sad that it's going to be over soon for me. But what I did watch over the weekend was the Netflix Flight MH370 mini docuseries about the missing Malaysia Airlines flights.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to watch that. Should I watch it?
Very worth it. Only 3 episodes. I think the first episode's like an hour and a half, and then the rest of the episodes are like 45 minutes or something
But
like
like,
that.
Is there anything in it that's like new? Because like I know what happened. They never found the fucking flight. You know, so like.
Yeah, I mean, it basically it goes through I don't want to divulge too much, but it basically goes through all the theories that were worked on
I like
from
that.
start
I like
to
that.
from
I
like
like that.
so
I
like
like that.
there's like 3 episodes. Each episode is a theory, and they take you through like the you know like the government officials who worked on it, and like the like independent groups that worked on it like simultaneously, and like the conspiracy theorists, and like it was pretty interesting. And I mean, my dad's like, he's not a big TV guy. He watches a lot of sports, but after we watched the first episode the next night, he's like, hey, can we watch the second episode of that MH370 thing? And I was like, hell yeah.
All right, then I'll definitely check that out. I still think that's one of the craziest stories of all time. This plane disappeared.
Biggest mystery in aviation history.
Yeah. And
Yep.
what, 307 people were on board or something? Oh, no,
Well,
Malaysian Air Flight 307.
There was 2 flights. There was MH370, which was 279 people, I believe.
Jesus.
And then there was MH19 that went down that was shot out of the sky over Russia. So,
Because of what?
like I said, there's a lot of like government, like
political stuff.
War cover up bullshit that's going on with it. So,
Damn, the thing is, I don't want to watch too much of shit like that because I'm going to China in a month, and I don't want to be on one of those airlines that has to deal with that.
well, I mean,
Right,
Dude,
so
I mean,
maybe watch it later.
That era,
don't be fear guy, but
no, definitely not fear guy, but like I just don't even want those thoughts in my head. Like while I'm flying over the middle of the Pacific, and I got fucking, you know, I mean, one of the things there though is like the plane fucking signal probably went out and then it crashed. I mean, that's really like.
But you'd still be able to find the plane.
yeah,
That's not true.
just
watch the doc.
You just
Just
want to
watch
watch it because
watch the
like
doc.
You
trust
didn't
me.
watch the doc. You didn't watch the doc.
But I know a lot about it.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I used to watch YouTube videos about this.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's just a crazy
There's a
thing.
lot of information covered in it, and trust me, they cover every single base.
Okay.
And it's still a
Maybe I
mystery.
will watch it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've been doing though is I'm not. Everyone I think knows that I am all about current events. I'm all about the next stuff that comes out. I like new shit. But Andrew and I tipped into the well a little bit on our trip, and I have been fucking hammering seasons 3 through 5 of Trailer Park Boys.
Oh,
Dude.
dude, I watched that over the weekend too.
Yeah.
Dude, class. Everything up until when Netflix bought them is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I mean,
Oh,
to
yeah.
be fair, Andrew, I would like it with or without. I like them both. But
Yeah.
The production value
But,
went
like,
up much higher after season
the
8.
shitty
But like
production
seasons
value.
like 3 through 7 are like gold.
They're
There are
gold.
many moments in that show that altered my brain chemistry permanently.
Dude, I even kept thinking about it. I was like, wow. Like, even like when shit goes on, like, dude, they just don't have FOMO. They don't give a fuck about anything. Like, I just love the idea of like they spent a whole season working up to try to afford a cruise, and then they broke like 82 laws, and then at the end of it, Ricky and Julian don't even go on the cruise because they go back to jail.
Yeah, I feel like every episode ends with them going to jail, and every season starts with them getting out of jail. And my craziest thing with that show is John Dunsworth, Mr. Leahy, God rest his soul. He was sober, like
The whole time.
outside of the show. He was sober. He was not a drinker, and so in the show, he plays this amazing drunk character.
Amazing.
For like,
Yeah.
I would say out of all the seasons, probably like 90% of them. I think
don't
there's
know
like
how
the
he
one
does it.
season where he like goes sober or whatever for Barb. But
Yeah, but he always falls off the wagon, which is the
and then he
best.
goes back to Randy.
That's the best.
Josh actually met him.
Oh, I didn't just meet him. I fucking grabbed Randy's belly. I fucking shook him up. I mean,
Cheeseburger
yeah.
walrus.
I have a signed picture. I was actually like, after watching the show, I was like, I need to hang up. I think we should do that for a week, one of the days in the week of Omada. We should do a picture of. We should do a little thing of me hanging up the Jim Leahy Randy signed picture.
That
In
is
my
It
office.
is a great picture.
I just, dude, those guys. I don't know how. There was a little bit of controversy going on there with some of the guys doing some, like the main guy, what's his name,
Mike
Bubbles.
Smith, Bubbles, yeah.
But I got to be honest with you, like the writing of that show is some of the best writing in history. Like I don't know how they did manage
It's so
to do
funny.
it.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
dude.
it's kind of like The Office. Like it's one of those shows where you're laughing from start to end.
Yeah.
Even if you're alone, and even if you've seen it 100 times, it doesn't matter.
And I'm so
just
glad it's been a
funny
while.
every time.
Like,
that show got me through AP Bio in what is it? 11th grade.
Yeah.
I just remember watching that show in the back of the classroom on my laptop, like, do. Yeah, I'm typing notes. Nah, it's Trailer Park Boys on my screen.
That's facts.
And it was to the point where I got caught because my friends sitting next to me were just staring at my computer screen every single day.
Hey, quick question. I know that we're gonna wrap up. What, we have one more segment after this?
Yeah,
But
I got a roast too.
I do want to just ask: has anybody had the chance to see Avatar yet?
No.
No.
Okay.
Don't plan on it, sorry.
All right. Really?
Really?
Oh, you're not a fan of Avatar?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Why? Did you enjoy it?
No, this idea of like putting it into only 3D IMAX and all this shit, like I can't watch those movies, so like it wasn't streaming at any other theaters.
Well,
and
it's
they
not
don't
streaming yet.
No, that's my point. It's not on streaming yet, but it's only in 3D fucking 60
Yeah.
Max or whatever, and I can't do it with my glasses. So
Oh, by the way, Colucci, that movie like Knock at the Door in the Woods or Knock at the Cabin.
You knock at the cabin.
It's on Peacock now.
For free, or
For
do you
free.
have to rent it?
It's for free.
Okay,
Streaming
is it good? Is it good?
I haven't watched it yet.
I'm gonna watch that.
It's got like a 60% on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes.
It's M. Night Shyamalan.
But horror movies and scary movies typically don't land that
No, yeah,
high.
no.
So I mean, I'm still gonna watch it. We're still watching it.
Yeah, M. Night is fucking awesome. So, and Batista's in it, so I'll watch that. I gotta roast Josh for a second because after the golf show, all was said and done, I packed up just about everything. Josh helped me pack. We made one faulty run to the truck because we thought we were gonna walk this stuff down the elevator, down the escalator. Down
well,
the
you have to
stairs,
mention that they wouldn't let us leave.
Yes, they won't. Golf,
Which is
Expo-
whack in my opinion.
Golf
So
Expo
whack.
shows will not let you pack up and leave until the end of the show, even if there's literally nobody.
There's no one in there but vendors. And it was so awkward because we're looking at competitors that were 10 feet away from us and there's no customers. And we're just staring at them like.
And so, anyways, Josh, we make one trip to the car. We come back, we're like, fuck that. We'll wait till 4 o'clock and we'll pull the truck to the loading dock. Josh calls me about 10 minutes later. I have everything all packed up. I fucking rolling up the rugs. I'm ready to go. I want to go home so bad. He goes, Luch, can you look around for a second? Because, I don't have my wallet and I can't get out of the parking garage.
A tale as old as time.
And I got so mad, but I didn't want to start arguing over the phone. Like,
yeah, it
when
would
I'm
just
trying
been,
to
it would have
leave.
been mayhem. I would have flipped the fuck out because I just didn't know what to do.
I was just like, no, I don't have your wallet. Like, what a wild question to ask.
Well, I gave you the business card at one couple of times through the trip, and I thought maybe I just gave him the wallet, or
No.
maybe it's in the booth.
He didn't.
Josh sold it.
So meanwhile, now the whole show is leaving, right? I'm like the only one left inside. I don't know how, but they all cleared out like ASAP. Josh is ripping the truck apart looking for his wallet downstairs. I'm talking to everybody all around. I have no idea. Like, nobody has seen his wallet. I, gave my phone number to like 5 different people. And then Josh finally, like, you know what? Fuck it. I have another card. We're leaving. He calls me. He's like, I'm paying with this card. He pulls it up. We pack the truck. A great weekend ends on a sour note, right?
It was
right?
so
Like,
bad.
Fuck. Like,
Let me ask you this:
credit
how
card gone.
long did it end up being that I was down in that garage? Was it like 45 minutes?
At least 30 to 40 minutes, yeah.
So it wasn't that bad. I'll tell you this:
But-
it was bullshit because the first thing I did was I called the hotel that we were staying at, and I said, "Oh, is my wallet there? Like I must have left it there." And then she's like, "Oh, I'll put you through to the staff or whatever." So the people who clean the rooms. So she puts me through. They don't answer. They're not there in the middle of the fucking day. And like and I had to call back twice again. I was like, they didn't answer. Like, can you help me? Just go fucking look. She's like, I don't have access, this and that. It was in the room. So they
whole
called me.
time.
By that point, we had left the show and I was 20 minutes past
Rocky Hill.
Yeah, I went in I went in the opposite direction. Rocky Hill was further than
Right, it's south of
Yes,
Hartford.
but I was already heading 20 minutes north, so I ended up being like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
But I had to fucking drive back, and Colucci was all upset. I mean, he was.
But
really
then
let down.
Josh did call me right away, and he was like, "Hey, found the wallet," and that actually made me happy. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, at
bro.
that point we were done.
Yeah,
I
you're just happy you're
I
going
was happy to
home.
be on the road, and then I fucking hit traffic. So I was pissed.
Did you hit traffic? I didn't even hit traffic.
Yeah, it was getting cleared up as I was going
Wow.
through it. Don't
Yeah.
forget, we were like way
We were
different now
way,
because
yeah.
you had to double back and then double forward.
That's facts.
But yeah, it was a funny ending to the show. Just it's been an ongoing thing. Josh just loses things, especially his wallet, all the fucking
It's the
time.
wallet. And they're so small now that they just
So
slip
don't
out of your
no,
pants.
you bought a smaller one.
Yeah, I want to look. This is, hey,
You don't have to have
is
a
it.
wallet that's slick and thin.
I need this thing. I don't want a big wallet in my
But
pants. I
it
don't. What am I
keeps
going to look like a
losing it.
boomer?
You keep
You know what?
losing it.
There's going to come a day soon where I'll be able to download my ID onto my phone, and I'll have all these cards here in my fucking phone, and I'll never ever need this piece of shit again. Fuck wallets.
until you lose your phone. The
I hate
phone,
wallets.
The phone will get too thin and you'll lose that too.
Yeah, maybe. But that one will be trackable. See, the fact that I can't track this, that's what fucks me. I could, if it was trackable, I could just looked at it and be like, oh, the last known seen location is the hotel.
Yeah, which would have been the end of the discussion. Would have
Yeah,
been easy.
they need to make them smaller so the thin wallets don't get thicker.
Yeah. Well, that's going to wrap up T-Box Talk episode 47. Thank you guys so much for listening. It was a great weekend at the show. Thank you all so much. If you're listening for the first time because you met us at the show, thank you very much for giving us the time of day. We enjoyed the show a lot. Looking forward to next show season because the show season is kind of over. We're now in golf season. Follow us on at Omada Golf. Follow us on at T-Box Talk Pod on Instagram and TikTok. We post clips there and funny videos. Tell a friend, tell a family member, rate, review, subscribe, the whole nine. Check us out on YouTube as well. We do put a lot of work into the YouTube vidcast, so we'd love to get some views on those. Thank you all so much for listening, boys. Thank you for participating. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the Final Four.
See ya.